So, this intro is going to be a little bit of a longer one because I really want to explore the context and just tell you the story here. Because we have ourselves the IIHF World Hockey Championships going on now. They're starting up after what was the U18s earlier in the year, as well as the U20s, aka the World Juniors, back at the beginning of the year. Now it's time for the main worlds, just the normal adult pro hockey world championships. And since we're all mostly familiar with the World Championships, I don't really need to explain what's going on here. You all kind of know that NHL players, for the most part, some of them decide to go, others decide not to. You don't usually get the best teams possible because most of the best NHL talent is usually in the playoffs whenever the World Championships go on, so you usually get the players from teams that didn't finish all too well in the standings going over to Team Canada, Team USA, etc. This year, though, you've already seen the news. We have a whole bunch of prospects on the Canadian and American side. Team Canada this year doesn't really have too many top-tier players. I mean, they have some good NHL talent for sure, but it's not like Crosby, McDavid level by any means. You have Team USA, you have players like Quinn Hughes and JT Miller and Brock Besser all refusing to go because the tournament specifically is in Latvia and there's going to be an entire quarantine process, and guys from the Vancouver Canucks probably would not want to do that again. But when it comes to these divisions over here, you have Division A, which includes Russia, Sweden, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Slovakia, Denmark, Belarus, and Great Britain. Really interesting to see Great Britain over there. They're going to have Liam Kirk as a player. And you have Division B, which has Canada, Finland, US, Germany, Latvia, the host country, Norway, Italy, and Kazakhstan. Yeah. Italy is going to participate in this year's Worlds at the top division, and they're going to be playing Canada, US, and Finland. Oh boy, that's going to be really interesting to see, isn't it? So normally, because Italy is Italy, it's already weird enough having Italy playing off against Canada and the US. But this year's Italian team has actually been hit with a pretty bad bug. Here's an article from Newsnet Nebraska going over what exactly has gone down with the Italian World Championship team. It's been a very difficult situation for them, as the entire team, preparing to start the adventure starting from May 21 in Latvia, will have to deal with a cut list due to injuries and, above all, the virus. There were 15 positive cases with the team, and as a result, you have guys like Simon Daddy, Leonardo Felicity, Enrico Larcher, and Gianluca Marsh not being able to participate. However, there should be a few distinctions made. Not everybody who is positive is not going to be able to participate flat out. It does say here in this article that some guys might actually be able to join the team at a later time, instead of just not being able to participate in general. I'm not really too sure how that's going to work, but that's what it says right here. The list of players currently in the virus's grasps are in no way neglected, and a distinction should be made appropriately between those who would definitely not be able to participate and those who could instead join the team by simply being neglected at a later time. Among the first group are goaltender Andreas Bernard, as well as a few other guys. You also have the other goaltender, Jake Smith, who might be available at a later time too. And because the first two goaltenders of the Italian squad have been taken out, they have to call up some other players. Take a look at this. First goaltender being called up is a man named Damian Clara from the Red Bull Salzburg U20 team. He's a guy who we're going to talk about here today because Damian Clara is indeed this goaltender playing in the Austrian hockey leagues, the U18, U20 leagues, but he's 16 years old. Dude, the Italian squad is going to be going up against Team Canada, Team US, Team Germany in this Division B at the IIHF World Championships, and their first two goalies are out, leaving the next guy available as a 16-year-old player, 6'5", 196 pounds. His numbers in the Austrian U20 and U18 leagues, honestly not great, but I mean, he's winning games at the U20 level, so that's good to see. He's got some pretty good goals against average numbers at that level, but the save percentage, an .890, that's not great. This is going to be really interesting to see because the other goaltenders over here, you have yourselves David Fadani from Lugano in Switzerland. This is a guy playing in a full-on pro hockey league, but he's 20 years old. And in fact, his record in the NLA, the Swiss league this year, he's 0-7-0. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. You also have Justin Fazio, who's a guy going to be suiting up here for the team. You're going to have to get some rotations done between these guys, man, because their main two guys are already taken out due to the virus. They're just taking scraps here, whoever's available. And Justin Fazio is a guy playing in the Italian league specifically. He was 7-7 this season with a 2.28 goals against average, 909 save percentage. He's 24 years old, so he's the most mature in terms of development amongst this crop. But just the fact that they're bringing a 16-year-old guy potentially against a Canadian squad which will feature the likes of Gabe Vilardi and Adam Henrique and Connor Brown and Comtois and Cole Perfetti. I said it myself, this is no Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby kind of thing, but still, these are NHL caliber guys. Even on the D-lines, you have Troy Stecher, you have Mario Ferraro, Owen Power too, and Colin Miller. These are players that can really give hockey nations that aren't part of the Big Five, or at the very least competitive in that sense, a very tough time. And Italy, by themselves, would already be falling under that category. What more that you have half the team taken out because of these injuries and the illness. Now you have a 16-year-old guy in net that's gonna be here in these games playing up against NHL caliber shooting. Like, dude, this is crazy. Just the fact that there is a 16-year-old guy being scouted in this way. Like, this guy hasn't even played at the normal U18 level for Team Italy, or the U20 level for Italy. There are tournaments where there's like the World Junior 18s Division 1A, or the U20 Division 2B and all that. There are different rankings for the IIHF and their overall list of nations that participate in hockey. And this guy, Damian Clara, hasn't even suited up for any of his own age range's material for Team Italy, and now he's being thrusted into the #1 Worlds, which is a step above the U20s, the World Juniors, and the U18s too. He's getting straight pushed in there into the normal men's tournament. Wow. Okay, that's a crazy, crazy story right here. So, as Team Italy goes along in their Division B matchups against Canada, Finland, the US, Germany, Norway, Latvia, and Kazakhstan, because you can't forget about Kazakhstan for sure, I'm going to be very interested in seeing who comes back for Team Italy, how exactly this team performs, and, just how many goals they allow, because we've seen it before. I mean, remember Team Canada versus Team South Korea a few years ago? Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. You had Matt Dalton going in there for South Korea in net. After he gets pulled, you have Park Sung-jae who goes in there, and Canada wins 10-0. Curtis McElhinney gets a shutout. You have Nugent Hopkins, Colton Parayko, Ryan O'Reilly, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Bo Horvat, Connor McDavid getting on the board. Like, Canada can destroy these other countries that aren't, at the top of the world. And the US did the same thing later in the tournament. They won 13-1 after you had An Jin-hui get on the board first, assisted by Kim Sang-wook and Kim Won-jun. That's when Anders Lee, Patrick Kane, Johnny Gaudreau, all these other guys just came out here and they chased Dalton. Park Sung-jae went back in there, and yeah. These teams, man, they can destroy competition. So, I'm interested in seeing how it goes down. Obviously, Canada's roster this year is kind of weak. They have a lot of players who don't want to go through the stress of the quarantines and all that, so they have a lot of young guys. But still, Cole Perfetti suiting up against Team Latvia or Team Norway, I'd probably take Perfetti's team 10 out of 10 times, just saying. So talk to me in the comments what you think about this overall thing here. The World Championships going on, the fact that Italy has a 16-year-old goaltender coming in here, playing up against US, Canada, and Finland. It's going to be crazy to watch how that goes down. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.